What if I told you that for $69, less than the price of a single PS5 game, you could get a handheld with specs that usually cost nearly $100? We're talking the Rockchip RG35XX chipset, dual boot Linux and Android, and a massive 2 gigabytes of RAM. It sounds like the budget king we've been waiting for. It's called the Abxylute E1. And on paper, it destroys the Anbernic RG35XX H and the Powkiddy RGB30 in raw value. But there is a catch, and it's not a small one. It's a design choice so baffling, industry experts are calling it an engineering paradox. This device runs Android, but it has no touchscreen. Today, we are going to find out if this is a genius cost-saving hack or if Abxylute just built a paperweight. Let's dive in. To understand why this thing exists, we have to look at the market. By late 2025, the sub-$100 handheld market turned into a bloodbath. You've got Anbernic and Powkiddy releasing a new device every other week, mostly recycling the same old chips. Enter Abxylute. You might know them from their One Pro streaming handheld. Now, they want to disrupt the budget tier. Their strategy? Convergence. They want to give you the stability of Linux for retro gaming and the versatility of Android for streaming. Usually dual boot devices cost over $100. Abxylute is trying to do it for $69. But to hit that price, they had to cut corners. And the corner they cut was the digitizer. Let's talk specs, because this is where the E1 actually shines. Under the hood, we have the Rockchip RG3566. This is a Cortex A55 chip, which is roughly 20% faster per clock than the Cortex A53 found in the Anbernic RG35XX H. But the real MVP here is the RAM. Most devices in this price range give you 1 gigabyte. The E1 gives you 2 gigabytes of LPDDR4. Why does that matter? Two reasons. First, Android consumes RAM like I consume coffee. If you run Android 10 Plus on 1 gigabyte, background processes get killed constantly. The E1's 2 gigabytes keeps things stable. Second, Portmaster. If you want to play PC ports like Celeste or TMNT Shredder's Revenge on Linux, that extra RAM prevents crashing. The display is a 3.5-inch IPS panel at 640 by 480. It's standard, it's sharp, 228 ppi, and it's perfect for 4.3 content like SNES and PS1. But again, you can look, but you can't touch. Here is the problem. Android was designed for fingers. Pulling down the notification shade, swiping away apps, typing Wi-Fi passwords, it all requires touch. Without a touchscreen, you are forced to use a virtual mouse mode, using the analog stick to drag a cursor across the screen. It is agonizingly slow. So how does Abxylute fix this? They created a workaround. They developed a proprietary app that lets you browse games and content on your smartphone and then send them to the handheld. Think of it like a Chromecast. You do the searching on your phone's nice touchscreen, and the E1 just access the receiver. It's clever, but it's also risky. If that app ever disappears, or if you're on public Wi-Fi at a hotel where devices can't see each other, you are in trouble. Thankfully, there is a safety net. The device is dual boot. If Android drives you crazy, you can just boot into Linux. The Linux side uses Emulation Station, which is 100% controller-friendly, no touch required. So where does the E1 land in the battlefield? Versus the Anbernic RG35XX H, the Anbernic feels more premium in the hand, better buttons, better plastic, but the E1 is more powerful. If you care about raw performance in Portmaster games, the E1 wins on specs. If you care about build quality and simplicity, stick with Anbernic. Versus the Powkiddy RGB30. The RGB30 has that unique square screen, which is great for Game Boy and Pico 8, but the E1's 4:3 screen is better for standard TV consoles like PS1 and N64. Performance-wise, Tier 1. PS1, SNES, GBA, flawless. You can even do 2x resolution scaling on PS1. Tier 2, N64 and Dreamcast. The E1 runs about 95% of the library at full speed, thanks to that RG3566 chip. Tier 3, PSP and DS. This is where it hurts. PSP runs okay, but the screen is too small, lots of black bars. And DS? Don't bother. Trying to play DS games without a touchscreen is a nightmare. So is the Abxylute E1 a trap or a treasure? It's a calculated risk. Abxylute is betting that you care more about getting 2 gigabytes of RAM for $69 than you care about a touchscreen. Buy this if you are a tinkerer. You want the best possible Linux performance for the price, and you view the Android side as just a bonus for streaming Xbox Game Pass occasionally. Skip this if you want a seamless experience right out of the box, or if you want to play Nintendo DS games. For you, the Anbernic RG35XX H is still the safer bet. But honestly, I respect the hustle. The E1 proves we can get better specs for less money. Even if the touchless Android is weird, the consumer wins in the end. What do you think? Is a non-touch Android device a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and keep gaming!